Jai Gaur Shri Radharamano Vijayate. Arushi, can you see me clearly, beta? Riya, can you hear me clearly, beta? Today there is some problem with the Wi-Fi here, so I've connected through my data. So I hope the class goes flawless without any internet problem. But at any time, if you feel that you're not able to hear me, please write in the message, write in the chat box so that I could know that there is some problem in the connection. So I welcome you all in the Sutra Stotra and Shastra class of Nimai Pathshala, especially in the Monday batch, which is precisely in English for all those people who are living in foreign, who don't understand Hindi, or who want to understand the learnings of Bhagavad Gita in English. So I welcome all of you. So without any further delay, because today we have to, in the last class, we took question answers, but today we have to start with the main course of our class, which is Sutra, Stotra, and Shastra. And today we will be going ahead with the next two shlokas of Shri Vishnu Sahasranam as well. Am I not audible? I'm audible, right? So if somebody is not able to hear me, please work, maybe just, switch on the, increase the volume in your phone or iPad. So probably you'll be able to hear me better. So without any further delay, first we'll extend our gratitude in the lotus feet of Shri Radha Lal for blessing us with today, blessing us with all of you, and blessing us with the positivity and happiness we can experience around us. So Radha Lal is already here to bless you all. So you all have to bear with us in the class because he's not very well today, a little cranky. So he will be with us in the class for a bit, but I will try to give my best to all of you. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Shri Ramaya Vayam Namaha Shri Gauraya Vayam Namaha Vandeham Abedjo Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanshcha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare श्री राधा रमण लाल की जय श्रीमन चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय सभी भक्त वैष्णव वृंद की जय सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय 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 श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम निताई गौर हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल दूध दे दो बना वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतिता नाम पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. आप सभी का आई वेलकम यू ऑल टू द इंग्लिश वर्जन ऑफ निमाई पाठशाला. Before we start the class, I really hope and pray that you all are learning Shri Vishnu Sahasranam side by side, and all those who are not able to learn, at least reciting it every day. So till now, in the first part of our class, which is the Shastra part, we are on chapter number 8. Last class, we started with chapter number 8. And till in chapter number 8, we have done the first 5 shlokas, in which the last shloka says, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra sanshayam. A person who is able to remember me in his last times will inevitably, without any doubt, is going to get the shelter of my lotus feet as well. So with this notion in our mind, we'll start with the first shlok of Srimad Bhagavad Gita class today. And the first shlok is going to reflect on your screens. So the first shlok says, यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यज्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः। यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः. So first we'll know the Anuvad in Hindi, in which Bhagwan is telling Arjun that Arjun, मनुष्य अंत काल में जिस जिस भाव का स्मरण करते हुए शरीर छोड़ता है, वह उस अंत काल के भाव से सदा भावित होता हुआ उसको ही प्राप्त होता है, अर्थात उस योनियों में ही जाता है. So it is very important to remember the Supreme in your last time, when you are taking the last breath. You know, when you are in your most difficult times, you are always inevitably remembering the person whom you are closest to. If you are very close to your best friend, when you're in your hard times, you'll be thinking of her, you would be wanting to talk to her. Probably some of you are very close to us, they would still message us, they would write a long message even though we reply or not, but they would know that it has gone to the right place. People who are close to their parents, they would share the things with their parents. So Bhagwan is saying you need to reflect upon this thing, that when you are in your toughest times, whom are you remembering? Because you know, the person whom you are remembering, you are emotionally attached to that person. But honestly, when you are sad and the first thing that comes in your mind is, hey Radha Raman Lal, I am not understanding this, but I have complete faith, I will go through this, I will smile through this, because in the end it's all about you. It doesn't matter the situation gives me pleasures or the situation gives me hardships. I know it is all about you. It is you who is taking different forms in the, you know, in the way of hardships or favors or successes, but it's you. The day we remember this, the first person who comes to our mind is Shri Radha Raman Lal. So Bhagwan is saying you should be happy about it. Why? Because the practice of remembering Radha Raman Lal is becoming more prominent in your lives. So Bhagwan is saying the person whosoever remembers whosoever, the ultimate, you know, destiny of that particular person would be the one he is remembering in his last time. So it is the most important thing, that what you are remembering in your last times. Are your friends who are being remembered? Are your parents? Are your other people who are there in your life, your children, your husband, your wife, or the supreme sitting within all of them, which is Sri Radharaman Lal? So Bhagwan is saying it is very, very important to reflect upon right now in the current situation, that when you are sad, whom are you depending upon? That means if Radharaman Lal is still not there when you are crying, when you are in your tough times, that means the practice needs to get more prominent in your life. You need to talk to him more. You need to have confidence in him more, that no matter what, the problems that have come in my life are given to me by the people around me only. And people cannot solve the problems that I am experiencing, because they are themselves going through a lot of problems which are unsolved in their lives. If they would have been perfect, then they would have been completely out of all the sadnesses. Do you have anybody in your life who's never sad? Do you have anybody in your life who is always happy? It is impossible. It is impossible to find a human who has never felt sad or who has never had any problem. So the day we start relying upon the one who is always happy, who himself has no problem, but has a solution to the problems of everybody in the world. It's just a glance for him and he will be able to, correct everything in your life. So the day you are remembering him in your successes, in your failures, in your good times, in your bad times, in the mornings, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night, in the dream, when you are woken up, when you are eating, when you are sleeping, if Radha Raman Lal is always on your mind, that means we are doing bhakti in a good way. What needs to be practiced through chanting, through reading, through listening, through kirtan is actually working in our lives. You know why? Because when we are in a good times, it is very easy to remember Shri Radharaman Lal. When things are going in a very smooth way, we are grateful to him. We are going to the temple. We are taking classes. We are doing chanting. But honestly, how much bhakti you have done in your life reflects only in your bad times. Trust me. When you are in a bad time, the first thing that vanishes from your life is bhakti, chanting, remembering Radharaman Lal. Instead, you become really, hardcore towards him. That how could you do this to me? Or probably you are nobody. If you would have loved me, I could not have been in such a situation. We start to really point upon Shri Radharaman Lal, which is the biggest blunder that we make. So it is very important to reflect in the current situation, whom are we relying upon when we are upset or sad. In the second shlokas for the class today, let's see what is Bhagwan trying to tell Arjun. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर युध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्. इसीलिए तू सब समय में मेरा स्मरण कर और युद्ध भी कर. वाओ, सच अ टास्क. भगवान इज टेलिंग अर्जुन to do multitask. You have to fight also, but you have to keep remembering me also. How difficult this is. Can you imagine? Right? Do you think it is very easy to remember Radharaman Lal in everything while you are doing everything in your life? How hard this is. But he's saying, मुझ में मन और बुद्धि अर्पित करने वाला तू निस्संदेह मुझे ही प्राप्त होगा. It is very difficult, Radharaman Lal. What are you saying? Radharaman Lal is saying that you have to do everything in this world, but you have to always keep remembering me. So you have to do your kartavya, your duties also, and you have to meditate upon me as well. Is it possible? Very difficult. Honestly, come on, you don't have to fake anything in front of me. It is very difficult. But tell me one thing. If I am married, I am not if, I am actually married. How funny is that? I'm not if married, I am married. And do you think I am married to Maharaj Shri? Do you think I have to constantly remind myself that I'm married to Maharaj? Do you think that? Okay, somebody is daughter to her parents. Do you think she has to constantly remind herself day and night that I am daughter to Mr. and Mrs. Sharma? That I am wife to Mr. and Mrs. Khandelwal? Or do you have to remind yourself time and again that you are a girl? Or you have to time and again remind yourself that you are a boy? No, we know that, and that is something that works with us without putting any brain into it, right? I being married, I automatically behave, dress up, go out, talk to other people in a way that reflects automatically that I'm married. I don't have to constantly remind myself. Yes, Anand Pandey is saying it is so obvious, right? It is so obvious that you know that you are this. You don't have to constantly remind yourself. So Bhagwan is also saying the same thing. There are two kinds of people in this world. One who have to constantly remind themselves to remember Krishna. One kind of people जो याद करते हैं. That means those people who have to be constantly, like for example, if somebody gets married to in a family and the girl has to constantly remind herself that the lady standing in front of her is her new mother. So she doesn't have to call her auntie, she has to call her mummy ji, right? This is something she has to remember. Why? Because this is something very new. But after a span of time, when she is habitual of every time calling auntie ji as mummy ji, she will now come to a point where this becomes in her nature, that automatically when she sees her, she will call her mummy ji. Am I right on it, Gunjan? Are we on the same track? Are we understanding this? So what is Bhagwan saying? That there are two kind of people. First kind of people who have to constantly remind themselves that they have to remember, that they have to think about me. And there are second kind of people who are always by default, I am living for Radharaman. I am doing everything for Radharaman. So this doesn't have to be reminded again and again that whatever I am doing should be for Radharaman. So these two kind of people exist. That means those people who are fully surrendered. I belong to Sri Radharaman Lal and my Radharaman Lal belongs to me. Who have this ultimate motto in their lives. They do not have to constantly remind themselves. They already know that they are Radharamaniyas, like they know that they're a girl. They already know that he's a boy, that they already know that she's married to a man, so she's not available for other boys in the world. So these are so-called obvious things that we say. Being Radha Ramaniya also becomes that obvious for that person. So for that person, now as comfortable you are being a girl and doing things that a girl should be doing. You are a girl, so there are a lot of things that you can't be doing which boys do. And boys could not be doing a lot of things that girls do, because automatically they know the difference between boys and girls. The same way, there are two kinds of people who have to be constantly remembering, those who have to constantly remind themselves for remembering Krishna, and those kind of people who never forget Krishna. Again, two kinds of people reside in this world. First kind of people who have to constantly remind themselves that they have to always remember Krishna. And there are second kind of people who never forget Krishna. Krishna is a part of their existence. So Bhagwan is saying, Arjun, fall in the second category. You do not have to ever forget that I am not there with you. And whatever you are doing, you have to do it in the right way. So Bhagwan is saying, a person who surrenders his man and buddhi towards me, person who is religiously doing everything for me, in the last, he is automatically getting the service of my lotus feet. So Bhagwan is saying that one should never forget that one belongs to Sri Radharaman Lal. Like you never forget that you have parents back home. You never forget that you have siblings. You never forget that you have a home. The same way, you never forget that you are doing everything in this world for Sri Radharaman Lal. He is your supreme boss who has appointed you to do your duties in the best possible way. So the next shlok for the Bhagavad Gita class says, अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थ नुचिन्तयन्. So in this shlok, Bhagwan is telling Arjun, hey Prithanandan, अभ्यास योग से युक्त और अन्य का चिंतन न करने वाले चित्त से परम दिव्य पुरुष का चिंतन करता हुआ शरीर छोड़ने वाला उसी को प्राप्त होता है. तो यू वुड से माँ, how would I come to a state where I never forget Shri Radharaman Lal? This comes with practice. And what are the practices that you adopt in your life to achieve that state where you never forget him? You chant, you listen to Hari Katha, you attend classes of Nimai Pathshala, you always make sure that कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा अनुचित स्वभावात् करोति यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयेत्. You are constantly, deliberately putting your brain into at least speaking for Radharaman Lal, eating for Radharaman Lal, hearing for Radharaman Lal, smelling for Radharaman Lal. The day you are constantly, deliberately keeping Shri Radharaman Lal, like, I explained you in that example. Shalja ji, can you hear me and see me clearly, beta? Ria? Yeah. So like I explained that initially the girl who is newly married, she has to constantly remind herself that the lady standing in front of her is not Auntie Ji, she is her Mummy Ji. But initially she will have to, every time she would go in front of her, she would want to say Auntie Ji. But then she has to use her brain that Auntie Ji is not valid. It is Mummy Ji, Mummy Ji, Mummy Ji. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, 15 days. Now this becomes a habit that she calls that lady Mummy Ji. The same way, it is very difficult to remember Shri Radha Raman Lal every time, but the time we start to practice that we think about Radha Raman Lal before taking any decision. We talk about Radha Raman Lal when we are talking to our friends and family. We start to hear Hari Katha. We start to think about Radha Raman Lal. Then, while we practice speaking, thinking, talking, singing for Shri Radha Raman Lal, it becomes our nature. And then when it becomes our nature, we, no matter in whatever complicated situations we are, we would not have to invest our mind in remembering him anymore. Does that make sense to you, Shivani ji? Does it make sense to you? That initially it requires your efforts to practice it. And once that practice becomes efficient, then it becomes your nature. Like the girl practices calling that lady as Mummy Ji, and then it becomes so evident that till her last breath, she knows that the lady standing in front of her is her mother-in-law, her Mummy Ji. So Bhagwan is saying that a person who is practicing remembering Shri Radha Raman Lal in every situation, a person who is coming to a state wherein he never forgets Shri Radha Raman Lal, and a person who is fully dedicated to Shri Radha Raman Lal, right? A person who is not divided into many, many attractions. A person who is fully dedicated in the lotus feet of her or his Ishta. When it is Radha Raman Lal, it is Radha Raman Lal. Then there is no other form of God that he is, inclined towards. So Bhagwan is saying, then when you have this extent of clarity in your life, then a person who leaves his body with the constant, some people ask me, Ma, we have in our house, we have deities of Radha Krishna, we have deities of Gaur Nitai, we have deities of Shri Jagannath Ji, Balram Ji, Subhadra Maharani. So, we serve so many gods. So I said, even that is very confusing. For me, in the form of Achal Swarup, Radha Raman Lal is residing in Shri Vrindavan Dham. Okay? But in the form of Sachal Seva, my Radha Raman Lal has taken form of Shri Priya Raman Lal Ju, and I am serving Shri Radha Raman Lal in the form of Priya Raman Ju, and that is it. I don't think more than this I need to serve anybody else. But when you have so many deities, you have extended your vidhi so much. When would you get the time to build that relationship? When will you get the time to talk to him? And whom will you talk to? Why you want to deviate your concentration into so many? Jagannath Ji, Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Radha Krishna, they all are same. There is no difference. Imagine you want to express love to your beloved and you have kept 10 photos of your beloved in front of you. Does that make any sense? One in coat pant, one in kurta pajama, one in dhoti kurta. If somebody will say like, what are you doing? This looks so lame. When you love one, just keep the photo of that one in any form, in any clothes. It is very important to grasp the Nidhi, Shri Radha Raman Lal. And to grasp that Nidhi, you need to do seva also without any confusion. So just choose, ask your Gurudev, serve only one deity. May it be Radha Krishna, then completely. Radha Raman Lal has to come and do Leela with you in your home. He has to come in the form of your deities. For Gopal Bhatt Goswami Ji Maharaj, Radha Raman Lal. Sorry, Shri Radhe. Rupali, can you see me? Shri Radhe. Telda, can you hear me? So for Gopal Bhatt Goswami Ji Maharaj, Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ji came from Shaligram Ji in the form of Shri Radha Raman Lal. For me, Shri Radha Raman Lal came from Navadvip in the form of Shri Priya Raman Mahaprabhu. There is absolutely no difference. So please do not get complicated in serving so many deities. Your deity should be one, and your entire concentration of your relationship with your Ishta should be established with that one deity. If I sometimes want to make, you say, Gujia for Shri Radha Raman Lal, I make Gujia for Shri Radha Raman Lal and offer it to Priya Raman Lal so that Radha Raman Lal can have those Gujiyas. So that should be your consciousness when you are serving the deity. But if you have so many deities, then your entire strength, concentration will be fully taken up by the deities that you are serving. So it is very important. So that is what Bhagwan is saying, that you have to constantly practice, that you have to understand and remember me in all the situations of life. And then even in the toughest of the situations, you have to be surrendered in the lotus feet of one and only, which is your Ishta. And Bhagwan is saying a person who leaves his body remembering his Ishta, in the end, he finally gets to serve his Ishta once he leaves the body. If you will be complicated, you will be, oh, should I remember Jagannath Ji? Oh, no, no, should I remember my Radha Krishna? Oh, no, no, should I remember Sri Gauranitai? Oh, no, no, should I remember this? Should I remember that? You will be confused. We have to prepare ourselves so that we have no confusion at that last moment of our life. One Radha Raman Lal, for me, Radha Raman Lal, to take my seva, he's come in the form of Shri Priya Raman Mahaprabhu, and that's it. That's it. So if I'm remembering Shri Priya Raman Mahaprabhu or I'm remembering Shri Radha Raman Lal, this is parallel. This is one of the same thing, because I am serving him as not him but Radha Raman Lal, right? So you have to understand this very, very clearly. So please, if any one of you has a lot of deities in your home, so please ask your Gurudev, start to serve one deity, and then maybe you can give the rest of the deities to somebody who is an aspiring sevayat of Thakurji. Somebody who's wanting to do seva, or probably you can ask your Gurudev to guide you further on this aspect. But please do not keep a lot of deities. I go to some places, people have like 10 Laddu Gopals in the home, and they are only serving one Laddu Gopal, and rest are not even showered, not even changed clothes, not even fed from their bhav. So what is the point? In unintentionally, we are doing aparad by keeping so many deities and not serving them. So if you think that there are deities and they are old enough, so you should, so many people in the house should divide the deities that have to be served by them. So if there are Gaur Nitai, then one can serve only Gaur Nitai. Mataji can serve only Raddu Gopalji. You should have your own deity. Those deities with whom you have a relationship, with whom you talk as you are talking to Radharaman Lal. Okay? So the next shloka will reflect on your screen. कविं पुराणम् अनुशासितारम् अनोरणीयान् समनुस्मरेद्य सर्वस्य धाता रमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्। जो सर्वज्ञ, प्लीज लिसन टू दिस वेरी केयरफुली, जो सर्वज्ञ, अनादि, सब पर शासन करने वाला, सूक्ष्म से अत्यंत सूक्ष्म, सबका धारण पोषण करने वाला, अज्ञान से अत्यंत परे, सूर्य की तरह स्वरूप अर्थात ज्ञान स्वरूप, ऐसे अचिंत्य स्वरूप का चिंतन करता है. दैट मीन्स somebody in short who is always meditating upon, if you ask me, Shri Radharaman Lal, who is eternal, who is the most knowledgeable, who will be there with me in every phase of life, who is just not a body, just not an object, who is everything. Somebody who can even know what I'm thinking, somebody who would even know what I am going to do, somebody who can stop me from doing something that I would do wrong in the future, or somebody who can even correct what I have done in my past. So he has that power. And who has that power? Your Ishta has that power. So you should eternally be only and only surrendering to that one form of the Supreme. And what happens to the person who completely surrenders onto the lotus of that one Supreme is reflected to in the last shloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita for today's class, which clearly says, प्रयाण काले मनसा चलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योग बलेन चैव भ्रुवोर मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परम पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. तो ही भगवान इज क्लियरली सेइंग, वह भक्ति युक्त मनुष्य अंत समय में अचल मन से और योग बल के द्वारा भ्रकुटी के मध्य में प्राणों को अच्छी तरह प्रविष्ट करके शरीर छोड़ने पर उस परम दिव्य पुरुष को ही प्राप्त होता है. दैट मीन्स अ पर्सन हु इज वेरी गुड इन कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग हिज entire energy in the lotus feet of that one Supreme in his last moments of life, that person when leaves the body, he eventually gets to serve that same Supreme in the best eternal manner. Very clearly, no complication. In the end, you have to only remember. And how would you remember? Only if you have practiced the art of remembering initially and come to a point where you are never able to forget him. He is just right there in every decision, every smile, in every tear, in every tension, in every, celebration. Radharaman is just with you. Something happens, the first person you want to talk to is him who is there inside you. Radharaman Lal, what should I do? That's it. If you're sad and the first thing that comes to your heart that Radharaman Lal, please help me. Radharaman Lal, I miss you. Radharaman Lal, please guide me. That's it. You have to achieve this state of falling back upon him. That's it. He says, if you are remembering me, there will be no way I'm not coming to help you. So we all have to understand that always. So with this, we'll end the Bhagavad Gita Satra. Quickly, we'll move to the next two shlokas of Sri Vishnu Sahasranam, which are going to reflect on your screens. We'll quickly do it. And today's sutra is going to be so relatable to all of us that you're going to absolutely love the sutra. So quickly, Vishnu Sahasranam, two shlokas for today. अतुलः शरभो भीमः सम्यग्यो हविर्हरि सर्वलक्षण लक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान समितिंजयः अतुलः हु इज इनकम्पेरेबल शरभः शरीरों को प्रत्यगात्म रूप से प्रकाशित करने वाले दैट मीन्स somebody who is residing in the form of आत्मा in every बॉडी भीमः जिससे पापियों को भय हो दैट मीन्स हु इज ऑलवेज कैरिंग ऑल द नेगेटिविटी अराउंड अस समभाव रूप यज्ञ से प्राप्त होने वाले ही इज ऑलवेज अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स पीपल हु आर बैलेंस्ड इन देयर लाइव्स हविर हरि यज्ञों में हविर भाग को और अपना स्मरण करने वालों के पापों को हरण करने वाले दैट मीन्स somebody who has the power to take away all the aparadh that you have done in your life only if you are completely surrendered. Tulya means comparably, incomparable. Yes, somebody who can never be compared to anybody. He's as powerful as nobody could imagine. He's as big as nobody could imagine. सर्व लक्षण लक्षण्य दैट मीन्स समस्त लक्षणों से लक्षित होने वाले दैट मीन्स हु इज ऑलवेज गेटिंग अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स द क्वालिटी ही हैज गिवन यू फॉर प्रचार इन द लाइफ लक्ष्मीवान somebody who is always with Shri Lakshmi ji, who Lakshmi ji is residing in the on the chest in the Bakshasthal, and Samitinjaya that means Sangram Vijay, that means who is always the winner in every aspect of life. The next shloka of Shri Vishnu Sahasranam. विक्षरो रोहितो मार्गो हेतुर्दामोदरः सह महीधरो महाभागो वेगवान मिताशनः विक्षर that means who can never die. He's Nash Rahit, somebody who can never get destroyed. Rohitah, somebody who has taken a form of fish also to save the world. Margah, that means Paramanand Prapti ke sadhan swarup. That means he is the road towards eternal bliss. Hetu, sansar ke nimit aur upadan karan. That means he is the reason why everything in this world is residing and functioning. Damodar, a person who has been tied by स्वयं यशोदा मैया सह भक्त जनों के अपराधों को सहन करने वाले if somebody is unintentionally did something wrong he would take it away from that person he will bear that pain of the aparadh mahidharah parvat rup he is also residing in the form of mountains mahabhagah he is the most brightest he is the most he is most merciful mahan bhagyashali that means he is the most elevated vegwan tivra gati wale he is very his gati the speed is very fast अमिताशनः सारे विश्व को भक्षण करने वाले that means he is the only one who in whom the entire world is going to fall once it gets the era gets finished. So Bhagwan is the most powerful as explained in the shlokas of Sri Vishnu Sahasranam. Please try to learn these shlokas and now we'll end the class with a beautiful sutra. So once a lady, very beautiful looking lady, she was traveling. Once a very beautiful lady was traveling in a flight. She was sitting in the economy class on third or fourth seat. She was sitting, but the moment she realized that the person sitting next to that lady was a handicapped person, that person did not have both the arms. The moment she saw that person, she was really, irritated and she didn't feel good about it. So, she called the air hostess, and when air hostess came, she requested the air hostess that, I'm not very comfortable sitting with this person because, he doesn't have any hand and this is really making me uncomfortable. So can you please change my seat? So can you please change my seat? So the air hostess said that, the flight is already completely full. So let me just go and ask my higher authority if we can do anything about it. So, that air hostess went to that person who is the authority, and she did not come back for a long time. Then that lady again pressed the call button, and the air hostess came again, and she said, ma'am, I really understand. Till this time, when this lady talked to the air hostess about being uncomfortable sitting with this handicapped man, that man did not know that she's complaining about changing her seat. But then when she called that air hostess again, that man could hear that she's saying that she wants to change the seat because she is not comfortable sitting with a person who has no arms. That person felt really bad, but when he heard the air hostess saying, his mood became more bad. Why? Because that air hostess said that, ma'am, I talked to my senior management, and they told me that they have no extra seats in the plane. The plane is absolutely full, so we couldn't do anything about it. But ma'am, we have a seat empty in the business class, so we are going to upgrade one seat in the business class. That lady was really, full of pride, and she became so happy that, wow, I will be shifted to the business class. And she became really excited and started to smile at that air hostess. But that very moment, the air hostess changed the entire story and said that, ma'am, I know you are very uncomfortable. So, sir, can I really request you to please get up and come in the business class? That changed the entire scenario, mood of that person. That person stood up, he had teary eyed, and he started to tell the air hostess that, ma'am, I was really sad when I got to know that this lady has a problem with my limbs. But I just want to tell you that, I am an ex-army officer, and I was fighting in the war for my country, which is India. And in that war, I lost my both the arms. And I was really sad when I heard this lady saying that she's uncomfortable because I don't have the limbs, and I have lost my limbs to protect people like these so that they can have their limbs and live peacefully. I was really devastated. But when you came and you said that you have upgraded my seat, is actually a clear indication that what I did for my country is very valid, and I'm really proud of it. The moment he said that, the entire plane stood up and they started to clap for that person. That lady was standing right there with a white face. She was full of, guilty, and she felt so sad about it. And with full pride, that person was welcomed with the voice of claps. He was welcomed in the business class, was treated very, very nicely, and he felt very happy about it. This sutra tells a very beautiful story, very beautiful learning, that please do not fall for the outer beauty. Things sometimes that look very beautiful on the outside are actually not that very beautiful on the inside. And trust me one thing, or trust me on one thing, that people who are beautiful on the inside are the ones who are always going to stand by. I'm not saying people who are beautiful on the outside are not beautiful on the inside. These days, have you seen those things that people are to some very not so good looking people, the makeup artists, they would do something on them that suddenly they would just change. I mean, this would just become like something extraordinarily different from what they actually look like. And on those looks of the makeup, you get married to a person, and that day when you're getting married, suddenly it started to rain and the entire makeup got done. And when the husband saw the lady, he got scared that, oh my god, who is she? I married somebody who was so beautiful, and what is this? This is what is the reality of life. You try, it doesn't matter how much you try to look good on the outside, how much you put on makeup, how much you make your hair. If you are not good on the inside, you might be able to fool the world for an instance, for some time. But let me tell you, the brinjal, when brought to the home, it is very, very bright and very slimy and very, attractive and glowy. But that when put on the gas becomes bharta. And when it becomes bharta, it had all the wrinkles, and that wrinkles have to be taken off, right? So the beauty on the outside never stays forever, but the beauty on the inside always stays beautiful. So always take time. Just do not fall for the outer skin. Take some time to understand the person whom you're talking. May it be, might not be very good looking, but when you talk to that person, you would know how beautiful that person could be as a soul. And trust me, people who are very beautiful sometimes on the outside and not beautiful on the inside could really hurt you a lot of times. And honestly, Radha Raman Lal never falls for the beauty which is outside. Radha Raman Lal says, I have made you, I know what beauty you have got, but I would always fall for a beauty that is from inside, something that is always helpful, something that is always emotional, always giving, always in a way helping everybody. And secondly, we should be always respecting the soldiers of our country, the people who are serving our country, people because of whom we are sitting peacefully, happily in our houses. It is very, very important. It takes a minute for all of us to say 10,000 things about the policemen, 10,000 things about the soldiers, 10,000 things about people who are serving, but people who are not satisfied, they would just take a second to say anything about them. Please, it takes a lot to sacrifice your family, your comfort, your everything, and go away to so that people like us could sleep, eat, live happily in our home. Please always respect all these people. It is very, very important. And the main sutra that this story reflects is that it is not important to be beautiful on the inside. It's a blessing if you're beautiful on the outside as well, but it is very important that if you want to attract not the material husband but the eternal husband, if you want to attract that eternal love towards your life, it is very important to become beautiful on the inside. It is very important to become giving, to become very, pure from the inside. Only then that eternal love is going to get attracted towards all of us. So please try to achieve that better version of yourselves through bhakti, through serving, through helping. And this is the most important thing that we can do in this human birth. On this note, we'll end today's class. Please try to read the next two shlokas of Vishnu Sahasranam and try to even learn it if possible. And I will see you all next Monday. And please, after the class finishes, take 5 minutes to rethink, take a recap of everything that happened in the class, make some notes so that you always remember what characters do we have to follow in our life so that we never forget Krishna. Remembering, how will you remember? By making notes. And how will you never forget? By revising those notes every day. Okay, so it is very important to think about whatever we have done so that we are able to become the better versions of ourselves. And lots of love and blessings to all of you, and I will see you. Yes, I am working on the Kirtan class as well. You will get to know when we are going to have it. We are going to have one collaborate class for all the 3 batches, which will be revealed soon. And till that, be excited and learn Vishnu Sahasranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha पतिता नाम पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री राधा रमण लाल की जय।